Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Misty Moss. I am a boudoir photographer, self-portrait artist, and burlesque performer, as well as just a lover and embodier and activist of all things body celebration and body love. And today we are talking about my 5 unconventional tips to make you a better boudoir photographer. I wore all black and I decided to film against my black wall. I have made weird life choices today, but anyways, let's dive into this video. Starting off with my first tip, and probably the biggest tip on this list, and I cannot stress this enough if you are a boudoir photographer holding spaces for people to get vulnerable and naked and nervous and to do all of these scary things with you, especially for the first time, you need to do your own inner work. This is my biggest tip for anybody wanting to be a boudoir photographer. You need to do your own work so that you don't project it onto your clients. And doing your own work can look like any manner of different things. You can go see a therapist. I love my therapist. She's the best. We have a really good relationship and she just helps me bounce ideas off of her, and she just holds this incredible space for me to just like be myself and to work through anything that kind of comes up. When my clients tell me that they have a therapist that they're seeing, I get so happy knowing that they also have somebody that they can bring anything back to if stuff comes up during their session. Also, therapy is just great and everybody needs to see a therapist. They are amazing. If you don't have a therapist or therapy is of no interest to you at this time, you can read books. Books are such great resources to unearth all of that stuff going on inside and to confront and observe and start to pick apart our inherited beliefs around bodies, because we grow up in a fat phobic culture, so we internalize some of that. And unless you sit there and go, oh, hey, there's stuff in here that I need to work through, it's not going to go away, and you might project that back onto your clients in their shoots, and we don't want that. We want them to be able to be held in an entirely neutral, safe space for them to work through their stuff, and for us to not like accidentally project anything onto them. So for that reason, do your inner work, go see a therapist, read a book. If you're like, but I don't know what books to read, I got you, boo. Here are some recommendations for you. Number 1, Anti-Diet by Christy Harrison. I adore this book. It really goes into the history of fat phobia and diet culture, and I think it's just such an important read for anybody in the boudoir community. Number 2 is The Body Is Not an Apology by Sonia Renee Taylor. If you've watched any of my other videos, you may have heard me talk about this book a lot because I just am so obsessed with it. I love Sonia Renee Taylor. Please go follow her on Instagram. She's such an amazing person, an activist, and just like obsessed. It also comes with a workbook, so if you really want to like dive deep and get into all those feels, thoughts, and beliefs, you can write it out, journal it out, and follow along with the workbook. My number 3 recommendation for readings to do your inner work is The Geode Theory by Terry Hofford. Terry Hofford is a friend of mine, and I just love everything this woman touches. She is such an artist. She is such just like a force in this industry. She is just such an amazing photographer and educator and just activist in this community, and I just can't stress how amazing she is. So go check her out, go check the book out, go check out her Teachable. She also has courses, or check out her retreats. Maybe you can even sign up for the retreat that me and Terry are hosting in May. It is a retreat all about self-discovery, self-exploration, getting back to your inner artist, working through all of those inherited beliefs. So if any of this resonates with you and you want to come to our retreat and check it out, I will leave a link down below in the description so you can learn more about this amazing collab that I'm doing with Terry that I could not be more excited about. All right, unconventional tip number 2 to help make you a stronger, better boudoir photographer, and that is take some damn dance classes. I know this is a really weird tip, and it can extend to any kind of movement class. Dance yoga, burlesque, anything that is movement based where you are dropping into your body and connecting with your bod and moving your bod, I think is really important for boudoir photographers to understand body awareness and to know what it feels like to move and to hold poses and to do something that's kind of really freaking hard, because our sessions sometimes can be a little bit physical, they can be a little bit demanding. So that's why I really strongly believe that people should take some dance classes. Bonus points if it's something that scares you a little bit, so some kind of dance or movement that makes you go, ah! Because feeling that way is a really good way to empathize with your clients, because they feel that way. They feel kind of nervous stepping into these spaces and to do something that's like new to them and kind of scary. So for us to also do that and to experience things that make us feel a little bit uncomfortable and to do something that's new to us, I think is a really great important tool for us to understand the client experience a little bit better. Shameless plug, but y'all should try burlesque classes as your dance class, because it is the bee's knees. Do people say bee's knees anymore? I'm saying bee's knees, whatever. And it totally changed my life. And honestly, I would not be sitting in front of this camera on a YouTube channel talking to boudoir photographers if it wasn't for burlesque. And I know that seems like a weird journey, but it really did empower me and totally changed the trajectory of my life, and just gave me the confidence to be the person that I am today. So shameless plug, if you want to try a dance class that scares you a little bit, try burlesque. It's the best. All right, unconventional tip number 3 is to get in front of the camera for self-portraits and do the poses that you plan on asking your clients to do yourself. So this is like a pretty obvious one for why this would be helpful, but it helps you understand what it feels like to do these poses that you're asking a client to do. I had a boudoir shoot once with a photographer who clearly had never posed before, and it was like, this is like way long time ago. They were new, I was new, neither of us really knew what we were doing, but they had clearly never posed somebody before or had tried any of these poses before, because they were asking me to hold stuff and do stuff that was so uncomfortable, and I was in agony, and it was not a good experience. I was like in pain and I was grumpy because I'm like holding these poses, and he was just like, hold that, arch more, and like kind of just being like a little bit gruff. And I was like, you've never done this before. Like, I can really tell that you've never asked somebody to put their body in this position before, because you're not empathizing with how I'm feeling in this moment. So it kind of sucked. Like, it wasn't a great experience. And I feel like if we, as boudoir photographers, just try out these poses at home in front of the camera for selfies, and we just kind of understand how these things feel, it's easier for us to coach our clients into these poses verbally and also physically showing them what they look like. It helps us understand how to adjust the poses if there's like a micro adjustment you need to make that like maybe the client looks like a little bit uncomfortable, because it happens, and you want to be able to like get them deeper into this pose and get like more of an evocative photo from this moment. Being able to have that experience where you've done this pose before will enable you to see like maybe what is making them uncomfortable with the pose, so you can help offer suggestions to adjust it based on their needs and accommodations. Okay, I've been talking for a long time, so now we're gonna have a word from our sponsor. Just kidding, the sponsor is me. I wanted to tell you guys about my new course that I'm launching. It's called Art in Selfie, and it is my new self-portrait course. This course has been an absolute labor of love for over the last year. I've been pouring my heart and soulfie into this course, and I'm finally ready to release it. It has $150 off right now for a pre-sale, so pre-registration. I'll put a link down below in the description if you want to go check it out. But this course has 6 modules, so it's suited for anybody from beginner to more advanced, as we cover all manners of topic relating to both the emotional toolkit and the technical toolkit of creating a self-portrait practice that is both artistic and healing. So if selfies are something that you've always wanted to indulge in and learn a little bit more about, and to explore yourself better in front of the camera, check out that link down below in the description, and let's get back to the video. Alright, thanks for listening to me blab about my new course that I'm very excited about. And let's get back to talking about tip number 4. And this one I recently just did myself, and it was so eye-opening and such an amazing experience for so many different reasons, and that is to book your own boudoir shoot. And I don't mean like just book it with a friend, I mean like fully book with somebody who scares you a little bit, book with a different photographer, and like fully surrender to the process. I really recommend booking with somebody who really inspires you and who is even a little bit outside of your comfort zone pricing wise, and just invest in them and entrust in the process and really surrender to giving somebody else complete creative control, because that is essentially what we're asking our clients to do when they book boudoir shoots with us. And I think having that full experience from like start to finish of being in somebody else's hands is really important, so you can also fully understand the client experience when they go through your own process. When I did my boudoir photo shoot, I also traveled across the continent to a different country. I really went hard on this, guys. And I did that because I've been having a lot of my clients traveling to me lately, and I was like, I want to know what this feels like to go somewhere different and have that like layer of like being somewhere different and then doing something scary on top of that. Like I really wanted to experience the whole shebang. So that's why I decided to travel and just book with somebody who I've been looking up to for literally years. And it was such an incredible, transformative, and informative experience. I loved every second of it. I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about how other people do business, and it just made me feel really good. And also, I just can't stop staring at my photos now. Like I literally just scroll through my Dropbox folder where I saved them, and I just stare at how amazing I look, and it just makes me feel like all warm and fuzzy. And I just think everybody needs that experience. Like, you make your clients feel so amazing, and you deserve to feel and look amazing too. So book your own damn boudoir shoot. Do it. Do the thing. Alright friends, we made it. We're at tip number 5. Congratulations for making it through this whole video if you're still with me. And my last final tip for today's video is to look outside of the photography industry for inspiration. We often tend to look around within our communities at what our peers are doing, drawing inspiration from each other. I see it in boudoir all the time. In the burlesque industry, it's the same. We all kind of are like, ooh, I saw somebody do this. Ooh, I saw somebody do that. And we kind of store those little nuggets away in our brain for inspiration and creativity later. And this is all really normal and just part of being in an artistic community. But however, when we only draw inspiration from within our community, is those same ideas and concepts just keep getting recycled and recycled, and there's nothing new and fresh and exciting. So my big tip for you is to look outside of that community and find inspiration in other places. This might look like infinite manner of things, but my biggest tip for this one is just follow your heart. I know that sounds cheesy, but it's true. Follow your curiosity, listen to yourself, and ask yourself, like, what am I curious about? What am I drawn towards? What do I want to explore more? This might be going to museums, looking at art, looking at paintings, going to the theater, watching shows, maybe going to burlesque shows or drag shows. Maybe it just means going for a hike and putting your toes in the dirt for a weekend and drawing inspiration from the earth. Whatever it is, wherever you draw inspiration from, I just highly recommend you to seek outside inspiration from outside of those communities so that you can bring in new ideas and also explore other parts of yourself and other curiosities within yourself that deserve to be explored. Okay, that is my 5 unconventional tips to help you become a better boudoir photographer. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, subscribe, comment down below. It really does help boost this channel and the algorithm, and I appreciate it so much, and I will see y'all in the next video.